Okay, Marcus, thanks very much for joining us. As we speak, it's Tuesday afternoon, and we've literally just learned, and you've learned in the last hour or two, that you've done it. The free school meals voucher scheme is going to be extended through the summer. Can you believe it? Can you believe what you've been able to achieve?
No, it's a bit crazy to think that we managed to do it, but I'm just thankful for all the people that helped to raise awareness to it, really, because that's what it's about. Because deep down, I believe people want to make a difference, but just like me, maybe a year ago or 6 months ago, you don't know the extent to how it's affecting people if you've not been through it, and also the amount of people that it's affecting. And that's when, once I read them numbers and started reading into it, that's what sort of pushed me to try and make a difference. So obviously today's a good day, and yeah, I'm just happy that we can affect people's lives for the better.
How will you affect people's lives for the better? What difference will this make?
Basically, especially for parents, not only for the children that we're feeding, but it's a lot of stress on parents' head, and it leads to other things. And I've seen firsthand how it can sort of spiral out of control, and people can literally end up on the streets because of not having meals throughout a day. So it's not only the food situation that I was thinking about when I was raising that awareness. It's other stuff, mental health, and just the well-being of people and families, and that's just one less thing that they have to think about. So they probably are in more difficult situations than worrying about only food. People are worrying about their jobs and what they're going to do for income and stuff like that. So it's just one less thing for them to worry about, and it's something that they shouldn't have to worry about anyway. So yeah, we're just happy to have made that difference.
And when you talk about a meal, do you think it's about more than just that basic thing of filling your tummy? If you're hungry all the time, if you're struggling all the time, do you think that has other impacts? Does it maybe affect your
100%.
focus, affect you, fulfilling your potential?
Yeah, just for example, like these kids should be focusing on their education and what they're going to do in the future, whether they're 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, whatever age they are. They all have dreams, what they want to become when they get older. And I know it might not seem like a big thing, but something like not eating every day, or not eating the right amount of meals every day, it can have an impact on your life. And like I said before, it's one less thing for them to worry about, and they can concentrate on the things that they should be concentrating, as as you should when you're a kid, which is your education, and being with your friends and family, and really enjoying the upbringing that you're having. And I understand that everyone's situations are different, but we can always come together like what we've shown, and try and make everyone's situation a little bit better and a little bit easier.
I think I'm going to sound very fortunate and privileged just asking this question, and to be honest, that's because I have been. But being really hungry like that, and it's something you've lived. What is that like, Marcus?
It's obviously a difficult situation to be in. But I was one of the lucky ones, because I met really good people that would help me out a lot and help the family out a lot. So at times, if my mum was working late and she went at home, I knew I could go 1 or 2 minutes to one of my friends' houses, and they would always put something on a plate for me. So there was ways around it for me personally. But even from a young age, I understood that there's for some people there's not ways around it. So who's helping them? So I just thought of people in that situation, and these little things that we come together to do, they make a big difference for them people. So yeah.
And look, you've obviously been famous for a little while now as a Manchester United striker, but I just wonder what, particularly the last week's been like, when I don't know, like the Mayor of London's talking about you, the Mayor of Manchester, political leaders, potentially you've got the government going in a different direction because of you. I think you've been on Twitter already. It's actually like my timeline is just full of your name. Can you believe quite the influence you've been able to have?
You know, it's not possible doing it just on your own, and that's one thing I've realised. I think I mentioned it about a week ago about people understanding that they have a voice, and you know the way that they channel it and use it is important, because you know it's a country that we're all living in, and everybody wants the best for the country, no doubt. And I think sometimes we just go the wrong way about it, and I've done it myself. You know, especially with charity work, you've got good intentions, but sometimes you do it and you go about it the wrong way, and it doesn't quite have the impact that you thought it would. But this time, I feel like everyone's said how they feel, and you know that's been the main point of the turnaround. And the main thing for me is that it's not about my name being involved in it. It's about the people who it's affecting, and you know I'm just happy that everyone's come together and managed to do that.
Have you almost found the attention quite difficult?
It's attention that you're not really, you know, you're not used to. So just like when I first started playing for United, it's attention that you've not had before, and then you sort of get used to it, and then now it's sort of that similar situation. But just like then, it doesn't really sink in what you've done, you know. But you know, like I said before, right now I'm just happy that them people will be eaten.
I noticed you put on Twitter, actually, again in the last few minutes, really, this is England. And I just wondered, like, what is England today to you? We've seen so many different faces, good and bad, of the country in the last 2 or 3 months.
I think, you know, England's what, like the people that are in the country right now, we have to make England what we want it to look like, you know. And I said before, I feel like everyone's got good intentions, but things that have happened in the past, we have to make change for it to improve in the future. And you know, maybe something like this, it'll have an effect on our generation. But I'm more looking at the younger kids and what their future will look like for even their kids. So, you know, there's a bigger picture to it, and hopefully this will sort of continue now, and it will become normality.
I noticed in your open letter to MPs, you talked about being a black man from a poor community. I just wonder, through this work and also what we see going on, you know, on both sides of the Atlantic at the moment, has it made you think a little bit more about being a black role model and the biases people still seem to face?
A little bit, yeah, but I think you know, my view on it is it's a generational thing, and generations change. You know, people improve as humans should, and I feel like now this generation that we're in, you know, we're not afraid to sort of stand up and be counted for, and you know, it's definitely a positive thing, and it can only better the future for black individuals and black families, black communities. And I feel like it's not just the black communities that want that. I feel like people in our generation especially, that's normal for them because it's what they've grew up in. So you know, what they're actually fighting for is normal for them to be saying these things. So yeah, like I said, hopefully the voices will be heard, and you know, things will change for the better.
I don't know if you read it, but Jamie Carragher did what I thought was a really good newspaper column over the weekend, talking about what a brave generation of footballers this is. And he's obviously talking about yourself, Raheem Sterling, seen some amazing leadership from Jordan Henderson, Tyrone Mings. It's probably hard for you to talk about yourself, but do you think that's true? Are we seeing a set of guys who are prepared now to use their influence and profile and do stuff with it? And I guess that does take a bit of courage, because you're putting yourself there to be shot at, aren't you?
Yeah, kind of, but I feel like sorry about that.
Who's that, Marcus?
It's my dog.
Bring him in.
Yeah, I feel like now, like you say, people are willing to sort of make that first step towards being heard. And I think the first sort of important factor that I seen in that was Raheem when he went through his situation, being racially abused, and how he stood up to that. And I think that was a turning point for a lot of people. And sometimes it takes that person to do something like what Raheem done, and he's not afraid to come out and speak about it. And it's definitely changed sort of the view on how to approach situations for individuals in the sport. So yeah, like you say, there's been a lot of people that have really stood up and said how they feel and how they think. And I think it's important for not only the players but just the community and sort of the fans to understand more on the players' background, how they're feeling, and how to make change really. But it starts within the sport, and you can I've always said that football is a massive voice. Everyone, it's like one language. Everyone gets involved with it. Everyone loves the game, and it's a good way to spread sort of positive messages.
So in a very short time now, you'll be putting your Man United top back on, lacing up your boots, and playing football again. It's been a long time. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to now. And since I've been back training, I've just been looking forward to playing that first game. It's been strange circumstances, of course, because at the beginning when I was first training, we weren't sure whether the season was going to continue or whether the next game's going to be next season or what was going to happen. So I'm just grateful that we've managed to find a way around it and get back out on the pitch. So yeah, we can just focus on the games again now.
We've talked a lot in this interview about bringing people together and putting smiles on faces. Do you think football coming back will do that?
Yeah, 100%. It's not quite going to be the normal. Obviously with no fans being there, but just watching like German football, Spanish football, and stuff like that again, it's put a smile back on my face. So I'm sure it'll do that for a lot of football fans.
And how are you in terms of your fitness? Because obviously the break's been longer for you. I think the injury was mid-January, so it's been a long time since you played.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I think I needed it, to be honest. I've had the time for it to heal properly, and rather than sort of skipping a few steps to get back as soon as possible, I've been able to take every step as in my own time. And within my body, I definitely feel confident again, and feel ready to be playing games, which is the important thing. But like you say, the times just worked out well for me, and I've managed to get myself back in a condition to play.
Did you think before the injury you'd gone to another level as a player, certainly in terms of the number of goals you were scoring?
Yeah, but I think it was more mentally for me to actually make that next step. It's sort of a mental challenge, and once I've done that, I feel like I could do it on a more consistent basis, which sort of happened from November, December onwards. So
what do you mean by that when you say it's a mental challenge? What was the hurdle you needed to clear?
Because I feel like there's a lot of young players that have ability, but there's one thing, people telling you that you have ability and knowing that you have ability to actually doing it on a consistent basis. And once you start to do it, it's sort of, you overcome it mentally, and then it becomes normal. So when I was going into games sort of after the Christmas period, I wouldn't say I added pressure, but it was something in my mind that I felt it was what was expected, and that was, it was a good position for me to be in. I felt comfortable in that position, and I've always thrived in them type of moments throughout my life. So I feel like when I say mental block, that's what it is, overcoming that mental phase of becoming a better and more mature player.
And I tell you what, it's a huge game to start with, isn't it, in terms of the Champions League places?
Yeah, it's definitely a big game. It's every game's a big game for us. Sort of finishing off the season, and in my mind, it's almost like a mini tournament. And I think we just have to take it game by game, and adjust game by game. It's going to be a different sort of feeling, because playing without fans is going to be a big difference for all of the players. So mentally we're going to have to be ready and focused to, when we're tired and we need that extra drive, it's going to have to come from yourself or one of your teammates, and we're prepared to do that now. So I've just been gearing up mentally really for the change that it's going to be.
Marcus, thanks very much for your time. Well done again on what you've achieved for people, and we look forward to seeing you out there on Friday night.
Thank you very much.
Go and feed the dog.
Yeah, will do. He's calling me.